I'll Knit With You. My name is Rebecca. You can find me everywhere like Ravelry and Instagram as Evil Twin 2. You can find our group on Ravelry under I'll Knit With You. You can find the show notes at illknitwithyou.blogspot.com, and you can email me at illknitwithyou@gmail.com. Yes, got them all. How are you guys doing? How are my owls and my yous? My ladies and my bros? How's it going? I've had quite the week. I even had to push some stuff back because I was working on stuff to show on the podcast. And I'm recording on a Saturday instead of a Friday, which is weird for me. So weird. But I usually don't have weekends to myself because I'm a pretty busy person. So it all worked out okay. We have no new Frons this week. And new Frons are people who have introduced themselves. Nobody introduced themselves this week. At least not that I caught. If I missed you, I will talk about you next week. And I'm so sorry. But yeah, nobody. So that makes me really sad. But we do have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into that. Blather is what I call the section where I just talk about things that are going on in my life. So here we go to Blather. This past Saturday, April 26th, I did the color run. Here are some pictures from that. The color run, if you don't know, is a 5K where you throw colored cornstarch around, and it looks like a cloudy, wonderful mess. I even shot this little short video. It was such a blast. Last year I did it with like 4 or 5 people, and this year it was just me and my friend Jessica. She's the only other person in the pictures besides the color run people. And it was kind of nice because we kind of just went at our own pace. We ended up in a herd of walkers because we walked the 5K, and that was pretty awesome. Because then you didn't feel like you're at the last of the pack. Last year we were at the end of the race, like the lineup to start running, because they run in sections because there's so many people. So it was kind of nice to be in this herd of walkers and just kind of take our time and enjoy it, and have a blast. And they have this, like, air quotes, after party. You can't see me because there's pictures. After party. Where they throw out packets of the cornstarch and you dance around to music, and it's just a really good time. And last year we didn't stay for that because we were all really tired and worn out and hungry, and Jessica and I had prepared really well, and so we were chill and ready to go. And I didn't get a picture of it, but there was Shout It Out, which was sponsored by Shout, the people who make laundry detergent, and they had these leaf blowers to blow off all the extra dust before you left so that it wouldn't get all over your car. And last year we had to trash bag everything, and this year we still did, but it was really nice because you felt like you weren't a cloud the whole rest of the day. So it worked out really well, and it was really awesome, and hopefully I'll be doing something else like this summer. I like to do 5Ks, even if I just walk, because, you know, you just feel really accomplished. So, yay, it was a good time. Other things that are going on, since I was up in the St. Louis, Belleville area, I went to a comic book shop I don't get to go to very often, and I purchased My Life as a Weapon. It is volume 1. They have volume 2 out, but I didn't buy that one. I just wanted to see if I liked it first. It is the story of Hawkeye, who's part of the Avengers, but Hawkeye doesn't actually have any powers. He's just kind of this guy who's really good at archery. And he, in this book, lives in the slums. Even though he has tons of money, he just feels like he fits in there. And they even talk about, if you don't know, there's a lot of different story arcs for Hawkeye, and in one part of them, Hawkeye's gone, and this young woman replaces him, so she's also in the comic, so it's really cool to see how they interact and stuff like that. So it's really good read. I'm looking forward to getting into the second one. I need to wait for a paycheck, because, I mean, the books are $20, and that's a really nice skein of yarn, so I am waiting on that. Speaking of skeins of yarn, if you watch the Amy Beth podcast, Fat Squirrel Speaks, she recently showed off some coloring book yarns in the Lumpy Space Princess colorway. I'm a huge Adventure Time fan. One of my friends loves to watch it. She's got a kid who's she's just in her 2, so she doesn't really understand what's going on, but she likes all the bright colors and the songs. So the show is perfect for her because she's not getting, because Adventure Time is not exactly like kids who can understand what's going on type of show. It's perfect for parents who have children who just like the songs and the pretty colors. I enjoy it as a 26-year-old. I find it awesome and surprisingly really well written. After Amy Beth showed off that yarn, I had to get some. BMO is this little robot type character. He plays video games, and he's kind of just the electronics whenever someone needs it to be. He's sometimes a VCR and does all sorts of crazy stuff. And so I purchased this yarn in the BMO colorway, and it looks awesome. I don't have it here yet to show you, but I'm sure I will gush about it when it gets here, and I'm really excited about that. So last week was a little Zoom happy. So what I'm going to do this week, and you guys tell me what you prefer, what do you think of it? You're the viewer, so if you don't like it, tell me, because I need to know so I can adjust for the viewers. I'm going to kind of pause talking, do the zoom in, film what I need to film, and zoom back out, and then I will clip that section out so it just looks like it cuts to the zoomed in part, which will be easier for me and probably easier for you guys too on your eyes, because I think last week it wasn't too bad, but if you were prone to seasickness, it might have influenced some of that. For Christmas, my mom got me this origami owl necklace. It has all sorts of charms in it, and I'm just really excited because I recently bought myself some new charms. I got the sushi that is down here, the camera, a set of books that says love to read or something like that, and a little coffee cup over here. I had a teacup before, but the coffee cup's a little bit more me. So it's really crowded in there right now. I might take some out and kind of change them around. Some of them even overlap just because, like, they all fit, but they're a little compact. And I've shown this necklace off before because it has these lobster claws on it that I use for stitch markers, which I find really handy. So one thing I did this week that has really helped organize my Ravelry is on my projects page, there is now one called Badges, or Badges I've Earned, or whatever I called it. And it's not really a knitting project at all. It's just a spot for me to put badges I've earned, like from the Ravel Olympics or the Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cup, that kind of show off, like, when I won an award for a project I did. So I have put all my I put all my badges in there, and I put a little link to everything that it goes to. And I also have those badges in the project page that they apply to. So I thought that was just kind of a fun way to organize stuff. I don't know if you guys have a way that you organize your badges. If you do, you should tell me in the show notes, or tell me in the podcast there, because that'd be interesting to hear. So that is a fun thing that I did this week. I think I'm out of things to talk about for Blather. So let's move on to Blobbins, because I have so much to talk about in the spinning world. It is crazy. So before I started my podcast, today on Saturday, I had a cup of coffee, kind of mulled around the house, and then all of a sudden I was like, I need to spin something. And so I was like, I have a time-sensitive spinning project coming up, and I'll talk about that more in a second. So I was like, if I'm going to spin this, I need to get half of it done before I even start my podcast. There's no real reason for that. That's just what I felt like I needed to do. So I have this fiber. It is kind of a mystery fiber because my mom bought it for me for Christmas off eBay. There's not a lot I know about it, but it's really, really pretty. It's called Painted Desert, and it has lots of purples and oranges and yellows in it. I've just been doing long draw. I'm trying to get more used to that and how that works and how I work with that. It's got a pretty high silk content. I'm not sure what it is because, again, this was an eBay yarn, so the description was, like, limited. It just said that it was silk. It might all be silk. It has been acting a lot like silk acts. I don't notice any woolly fibers, and it's very fluffy. If you are a fiber expert and you're like, oh my gosh, this is totally this type of fiber, you should tell me because I have no clue. It is been really fun to spin, and it's really, really pretty, and I have 50 grams of it. I knocked out 25 grams in less than an hour doing long draw. So it's kind of a good test to see how fast I can spin and at what consistency. I have not yet perfected the, when you see those pictures on Instagram, they have the perfect little bumps all the way up. I have not perfected that at all. I do have the other 25 grams if you guys want to see that, because it's really pretty. It is totally lovely. It is just a color explosion of what looks like pretty sunset colors, and that's what it's supposed to look like. So good job on whoever did this. I don't know if it's hand painted or where it came from. I just know my mom bought it for me on eBay. So yeah, but you know, fiber is fiber, and it's awesome, and I really like it. So it works out well for me. So on to this mysterious, massive spinning project I have planned, because it's kind of crazy. I briefly mentioned earlier that I do the Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cup, and it's the most intricate knitting game you will ever hear about or think of in your lifetime. And I'm still figuring it all out. And I've mentioned this briefly before on the podcast. I keep saying briefly. Everything is very brief today. Briefly. Briefly on the podcast before. I'll say it again because it fits really, really well. And you can do different types of projects. And if you've ever watched Harry Potter, they have their owls, which is a giant test they take. And to become a better spinner or knitter, you can kind of challenge yourself by proposing an owl. It has to be a 2-month-long project. So this is not like something I'm going to have done by Monday or anything like that. And mine is to spin 400 grams of fiber, at least. So I have told you before that I've been trying to spin my entire stash in chronological order. That's one more reason why I started my Painted Desert project, is because this came before some of my other fiber, so I need to get it done first. It makes sense in my brain. But from now on, after that, the order's kind of out the window based on what I need to do for this project, which is okay with me. So the first thing I have to spin is one thing that I've been the most excited about spinning. So it's kind of a nice way for me to be like, oh good, I can finally spin that. I don't have to spin my entire stash first. My stash isn't big, and this is what I'm going to show you right now is pretty much the rest of my stash, except for this pound of white wool that I have that I'll eventually spin and dye, but that's going to be in the future. I'm not really ready for that yet. So this is my Rin and Ollie. If you've been watching the podcast for a while, you'll remember when I got this. It is center pull bats, or center pull things. So this one goes purple, teal, red, and this one is just gray with lots of lovely silk noil and all sorts of randomness that will be well plied together. So they are meant to be like, it's meant to be a 2-ply. This is a little bit easier to see. Except, you can't really, no you can. It's meant to be a 2-ply. So in this project, I have to do a 2-ply, a 3-ply, a 4-ply, and a cable ply, which is when you do 2 2-plies, and then you spin them the other way to do a 4-ply. You ply those 2 plies together. And I'm really excited about that. I've heard Fibertown talk about it for sock yarn, and I just really, really wanted to try it. But I'll have to spin really thin in order to get sock yarn consistent. And I'm not going to make, I don't know. But I'm excited about it. So, this is my 2-ply. My 3-ply is my Wool of the Andes from Knit Picks that I recently got. It is a very dark green, so that is pretty accurate. I can take off the sleeve, but I mean, what you see is what you get. It's all just this lovely dark green. This is an Aurora Heather colorway. This is Wool of the Andes Roving. And if you just need to spin something, this was like $4 on Knit Picks, which is awesome for fiber, because it's usually like 20 plus. Or, 13 plus. We'll say 13 plus. Depending on what you're buying and where you're buying it at. The next thing I'm going to be spinning is my Tail and Tendril that I got. This is 4.15 ounces, so it is over 400 grams, but I'm doing it anyway. This will be my 3-ply. This is also very true to color. That's pretty accurate. Good job, camera. I got this for my birthday from my future sister and my current brother. And then last, but certainly not least, is my Yarn Geek fiber in the colorway Happy Place. I'm trying to hold this so you can see all of the colors. It has this lovely pink sheen. I think I showed this in my very first podcast. It is 50% merino, 50% tencel. I bought this at the Bead Place in Belleville, Illinois. And it's kind of iridescent in the way that a gasoline puddle looks, if that makes sense. If you find those beautiful. This will be my cable ply. So I'm pretty excited about that and how everything is going to work out. I don't know. It smells good. So, super, super pumped. Yay! On to the next thing. So, I have a lot of whips. Well, I have 2 whips. That's not very many, actually. I'm going to try to not say Harry Potter Knit Crochet House Cup too many times, because for one, it's a tongue twister, and for 2, you guys don't care. Like, if you're not in it, then it doesn't matter to you, and I totally get that. But one of the things I'm doing I'm not going to talk about it, but here I'm going to talk about it. Is I'm trying to learn interlac for bonus points, kind of. And I'm making a washcloth. And I've restarted this washcloth about, I don't know, 4 times now. My bind-on was a little tight, but other than that, it looks like it's going really, really well. I think I finally got the hang of it. I am using an entrelac pattern that, if you want to know what it's called, you can check my pattern page, because I forgot to write it down. It's not in my show notes. This is I'm doing this on needle size 6. I think it's 6. Oh, and I'm spinning on my Kiwi 2 Ashford spinning wheel. This is... I should have looked all this up. What is this called? Here's the yarn that I'm using, and here's the information for that, because I didn't look it up before I started my podcast. It kind of transitions between whites and blues and purples. And I think it looks kind of fun, although it's not the alternating colors that I will eventually do when I do interlac, if I ever do this again, which we'll see. I think it does look really nice in these squares. It kind of gives them in the beginning, they all kind of start with that purple, dark navy color somehow, and there's always white in the middle. So it works out really well. I'm really enjoying that. If you watch, I'm not trying to talk about everyone else's podcast, but I do watch a lot of good podcasts. If you watch the Sort of a Knitter podcast, who is Josh, who also is Geonitrix Designs, you may have heard about the Mystic Spiral socks that he just made. And he's doing a Mystic May knit along. So I am knitting some Mystic Spiral socks out of my Crazy Super Ball for that. It is Crazy Super Ball yarn. My needles are 1.5, I think, Knit Picks Caspians. So here is my sock so far. Here's a close-up of it. It will, if you want to see what they look like, his is the best because the colors he picked for his sock yarn were perfect. Mine kind of transitioned, so I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out. But I think it'll look really nice. I've been having a lot of fun doing this pattern because it's a sock pattern, but it's not your everyday sock pattern. So once I get past this point, I think the rest of it's kind of vanilla till I get to the heel. And then there's more later on. But you can't really see what's happening yet because I haven't got to the good stuff. But I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Hello again. Here is my Crazy Super Ball yarn. I have the tag on it, so I'll tell you all about it. It is my Crazy Super Ball by Josh. Sure. This is the Herbstone colorway. There's 420 meters to 100 grams. It transitions from like this navy to an orange to, red to orange, and then back to like a purple navy, and then navy. I could just zoom in, but I'm just going to shove this in the camera's face instead. Look at it. Look how beautiful it is. I've been really enjoying working on those socks because they're just really fun, and it's not vanilla, but it's a little bit vanilla. Like, it's easy to know where you're going once you get on a certain part of the pattern. It's not like you have to keep a chart ready, or, you know, your magnets ready to be marking along in the pattern as you go. I use a magnet board sometimes. It happens. That's how I do. Whatever. I do have a finished object. I made a foliage hat. Now the foliage hat is kind of hard to see on this dark purple, but I'm hoping the light will help a lot. So you can see there's kind of a leafy pattern. Oh, it's showing up really well actually. Right there on my very pink hair. So, yay. I made this for a friend. I really stressed out about this because she asked for this and she wanted it in the smaller pattern, which is if you have figuring weight yarn. But the yarn that she had picked out was Aran weight, as it goes. But it actually fits. I was worried it was going to flare too much and be way too big. But it actually works out really, really well. Try not to zoom back out. So I'll be making her a corresponding scarf. But the scarf will actually be the Tiger-Eyes scarf that I will link in the show notes if you really want to see what it looks like. But it looks like the back of the Jenny cardigan. It's a different setup of the pattern, but it's basically the same thing. But I'm going to show you the Jenny cardigan, aren't I? Okay. I also knit my boyfriend this pair of socks. I've already given them to him, so here's the picture of them. I started these forever ago using the book knit socks with an exclamation point, which looks like a sock. I will put a link to that in the show notes. And I just never finished them because they were so bulky and they were so awkward to work with. And I'd kind of started them before I really got a hang on everything. But I think they turned out really well. He really likes them. He's been wearing them a ton. So that's another defeated foe. Okay, I had to zoom out because this project is pretty massive. This is the Guinea cardigan. It is huge. I have joined the sleeves on. I started on US 6s, US 4s, and I'm on US 6s on the Knit Picks Interchangeables because I love their needles. This is the back of the cardigan. You can see it kind of has this like really pretty lace design. And then here are my sleeves. They match up with the sweater when they're at just the right, there it is. They match up with the sweater really, really well. I decided I wanted to do stripes. Not like repeating stripes, just giant wide stripes. That's what I wanted to do, so I did it. Right afterwards I was like, I should have done repeating stripes, this looks weird. But I think I'll like it, it's very me. It's very pretty. And it's very massive. Good lord. So big! I can't believe you can see the whole thing, which you kind of can. It's a giant green rainbow. So the tiger eyes scarf has pretty much this as a scarf, which is kind of awesome. They do use a little bit different setup, but I think I like it a lot. I think it's very, very good. So that is what's going on. I have worked on it a little bit. This light yellow color has been where everything is sucked because that's right after I joined on the sleeves. I have about 1.5 balls left. I might have to order more. I'm not really sure. But what I figure will happen is I'll have to order a new ball for the button band and the pockets. And that could even be a different color of green that just kind of coordinates because I can't really do stripes because I used up all of every ball. Which is what I was expecting. Like, that's not a surprise or out of, oh no, I've done this and I don't know why I did it. No. That's how I wanted it to be. So I could even do it in black or white or, you know, gray or just some, like, other color. But it'll probably be a green because that's what makes most sense. Green or yellow. Or a combination of both. So, and if you want to know what these colors are, this is Knit Picks Jade, Knit Picks Wasabi, Knit Picks, this is, okay, I have cornmeal and honey. I think that's what the order is. And this one is Knit Picks Green Tea. Ta-da! This is my Knit Picks sweater because Knit Picks needles, Knit Picks yarn, Knit Picks interchangeable cables. Knit Picks. I'm not trying to say it 100 times. They do not sponsor me, please. That would be awesome. Those are my current projects. Okay, I'm almost done. I have a couple more things to talk about. The sock along is over. If you guys want to do my sock along, you missed out. I'm sorry. But the Mustache Podcast is doing kind of the same thing. There's a couple other sock cals going along. So you guys, if you need to get your socks on, there are plenty of places to do that at. If you're really sad, you can still post your socks in the finished sock parade if you're working on them. I'm going to close the other threads, but not that one quite yet. The Strut Your Puffs is forever ongoing. Post your puffs, your Huxapuffs from the Beekeeper's Quilt forever. Show them to me for always. I love them. There is a thread in the group called, hey, I'm a podcaster. If you're a podcaster, talk about it there. I would love to know who else podcasts in the group because that is always so awesome. Introduce yourself because people, I want to meet you. And it was so sad this week when no one introduced themselves. Really a bummer. Cried. It was awful. You guys. No, I'm just kidding. It was kind of a bummer though. Places I'm going to be soon. There is a miniature Fiber Fest from like 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Metropolis, Illinois, coming up on May 10th. Yes. And I will be there. There is a fiber festival called Iowa Sheep and Wool on June 14th, 15th, and I will be there. YarnCon in, I think, August. I will hopefully be there. That one's kind of a maybe because it's a lot of traveling and arranging that. So if you're gonna be those places when I'm gonna be those places, please send me a PM. I would love to meet you. I might wear some discerning clothes or something, I don't know. I'll be like, hey, I'm the woman in red. Watch out. Look for the brown hair, because it's going away Tuesday. It's going away. But it's okay, because I have terrible, terrible roots, so it's all alright with me. Lost my train of thought, because I was being weird. I'm gonna do a new segment called What Makes Me Happy. And it's kind of a play on that song, what makes you different, what makes you beautiful, right? What makes me happy? 5 things that make me happy this week. In the Harry Potter Nick Crochet House Cup, which is a tongue twister, I have been sorted into Gryffindor. Holy cow, it's kind of awesome. I've been having a blast over there. It's so cool. What makes me happy is that I finally decided on a yarn for this hat. I almost went out and bought more, and it was tragic, and it was really, really stressing me out for some reason. But I ended up just doing it in the yarn that she asked for, and I was like, listen, she doesn't get knitting. It's not going to bother her if it's not 100% what she asked for, because she's probably not going to remember, because she asked me in January, and I told her, you will get it when you get it. So, not stressing about that anymore has just, like, I don't know what that was letting that preoccupy my mind so much, but I was. The third thing is, I really enjoyed seeing all your sock pictures. It was so much fun. You guys, you've inspired me to knit so many socks. My fourth thing is, finally understanding how to do entrelac. Like, it's not hard. You just kind of have to get it. And I wasn't getting it, and now I get it. My fifth thing is my boyfriend, because he just makes me happy no matter what. And he's awesome. I love him. He's great. My battery is flashing, so this might get cut in half. Okay. Yeah. If you're out there and you're spinning a ton like I am, or you're knitting up all sorts of crazy mad things, remember, my name is Rebecca, also known as Evil Twin 2, and I will knit with you.